Okay, Robert, he's ready when you are.
Good evening, everyone. I called out June 2020 cumulative petitions, virtual meeting call to order, and we asked our secretary, who's calling to do the roll call, please.
Excuse me, let me jump in. Robert, I'm having an issue hearing you. Does everybody else have an issue too?
Yes.
Okay, Robert, can you adjust your volume, please?
Okay, hold on.
And everybody, while we're doing this, can you please make sure that you mute your microphones unless you're speaking? Also, I need to do something before Robert gets the meeting going once again, because I know we need to start over. But we have a responsibility to make sure that we're transparent during this process. And so what that means is every time you all vote on something, Carlin is going to be asking you to vote one by one, because it's a part of the requirement for virtual meetings with city government. And so that is going to be one of the things that we're going to have to do, is to make sure that we have you vote one by one on each and every item. So the roll call will be the normal roll call, but we will be doing the vote procedure and process a little bit differently, because we have to do it that way for accountability purposes. And Joey and Larry, we're going to share a statement that was from the city attorney regarding virtual meetings. I have not received that statement. Gentlemen, do you all happen to have it handy? Okay, so what we're going to do until we get that is we'll continue on. Robert, can you start the meeting, call it to order again, and then we'll move on?
Okay, can everyone hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think it was the mic or something. All right, good evening to everyone. I called our Human Relations Commission's meeting to order for our June 25th, 2020. At this time, we'll have our roll call by Secretary Ms. Carla Duncan.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Commissioner Lee.
Present.
Commissioner Wiggins. Yes, he's still waiting on her. Commissioner Bloomfield.
Present.
Commissioner Haynes.
Present.
Commissioner Price.
Present.
Commissioner Sarton. I think she's there. Okay. Commissioner Samara.
Present.
Commissioner Taylor.
Present.
And we did have a request for an excused absence. The request was from Commissioner Kerry Wiggins. And so, Chair Lee, if you would like to have the commissioners to vote on the excused absence request, again, when you vote, everyone will have to vote individually.
Correct, yes, ma'am. Okay, we had one excuse absent. That was Vice Chair Commissioner Wiggins. Can we get a motion to accept that excuse absence?
I move to accept the request for excuse absence of Commissioner Wiggins.
Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Commissioner Taylor. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
We're going to need to go one by one for you all to say aye or nay, okay?
Oh, that's right, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so Commissioner Bloomfield, can you get us started?
Aye.
And then Robert, you can call on each individual commissioner that you see.
Okay, all right. Commissioner Samara,
Aye.
Commissioner Sarton, Commissioner Haynes, Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Okay. I don't know what's going on with Commissioner Sargent. And Commissioner Price.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. All right. As we move forward with our agenda tonight, we need to approve our minutes from January meeting minutes. I know that seems like it's a long way, long ago, but we have to approve our January meeting minutes. I hope everyone had time to look over the minutes. If you need time to review them, please do so. If not, we can proceed with the approval of the minutes from our last meeting.
I've read the minutes and I would make a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
I will second.
Commissioner Price, okay. Okay, so we gotta do this again. I'll do another roll call. It was motion by Commissioner Bloomfield, second by Commissioner Price. Commissioner Samaro. All please say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Stone, okay. Commissioner Haynes.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Sargent. All right. That's it. All right. Thank you. At this time, I will move forward with our chairperson's updates. We do have some vacancies that are available on the Human Relations Commission, and we are getting ready to start an HRC nominations. And I know that we've been in touch with Ms. Linda Barnes and Ms. Wanda. Do you want to allude to some of that, or do you want me to proceed with the update, the nominations?
Sure, Malik. Really don't have any updates pertaining to payments. Just as we were trying to get the ball rolling, I know Commissioner Bloomfield had even tried to gain some traction with the whole process prior to the pandemic. Everything has just come to a standstill as far as I know. I've not heard anything else. And so, Commissioner Bloomfield, I don't know if you ever did let the commission know about your efforts, or maybe would you mind reminding them?
I might need reminded what my efforts were. I vaguely remember did I write a letter or did I drop a letter off that maybe Wanda wrote?
Yeah, we wrote a letter that you dropped off, and yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, okay, yes, I do remember that. I have never heard anything back except a thank you for your letter.
Okay, so with that stated, well, are we? I mean, is that on standstill for us, or do we need to begin to do a? I mean, do we have any applications in the office? I guess I'm asking.
We do have applications, that we all have on file.
Correct.
I believe some of you may have reviewed those or at least seen those back during open house or before, but I don't know of any new ones. I have not received them. And of course, in all fairness, we have not been on since March the 23rd. So I don't know of any that have been sent physically to the office. I certainly haven't received any electronically. And so I'm thinking that as a result of a lot of the things that are going on in the community right now, we may end up getting some applications if we haven't down at the mayor's office, because with the different, oh, hi, Ruth. I'm sorry. Hi, Ruth. But with all that's going on in the community, it's certainly a possibility that a lot of new people may be interested in social injustice issues and racial equity issues, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if we may be getting some new applications either during the pandemic or shortly thereafter.
Okay, so with that state, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I was just going to say, as you know, you all consist of 8 commissioners right now. And it's a commission of 13. So you're down to 8. And so we know that it's definitely important to get the remaining 5 seats filled.
Correct. So I know in the past, if we were meeting downtown today, we would have tried to come up with a ad hoc committee for the nominations for the HRC commission. How do you want us to proceed given the situation where we're in right now, Ms. Wanda?
You said, how should the committee proceed?
Correct.
Well, given that it looks like we're going to be off-site for quite a while longer, I think everyone may be aware of the fact that Governor Cooper did extend phase 2 until like mid to late July. So we're going to definitely be working off-site for the foreseeable future. And what we can do is simply ask via email to Commissioner Bloomfield's memo. And hopefully they can electronically share some of those, if they have any applications that they receive, they can send it to us via PDF file, hopefully. We could certainly make that request.
Okay. So should we proceed in creating a nomination committee or?
And we did have a nominating committee in place. Does anyone remember, commissioners, if you were on the nominating committee?
I know I was on there.
Okay, Sonny, Robert, and Jeff. Okay, so you.
Yeah, I was on it.
I'm sorry?
I was on it.
Okay.
Okay, I can remember.
Okay, so you do have at least 4 members on the nominating committee, Chair Leak, and so really, Commissioner Bloomfield was taking the lead on following up on behalf of the committee. And so Commissioner Bloomfield, if you wanted to follow up with Ms. Jackson Barnes and maybe just CC the other members of the committee and me, you could. You could just follow up via email. I think that would be appropriate.
Okay, I can do that. Did we have any applications that we were advocating for? I cannot remember. Or we were just trying to get more applications.
I
We were
think
trying
we
to get recent applications. I do know that.
right.
Okay. Yeah, I can certainly send another email.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Ms. Wanda, I question is just lost my question. Okay, all right. Well, we'll let Commissioner Bloomfield proceed with that, and then we can. And then of course he'll report back to us. Well, he will CC us on that email, and then we can move forward with the nominations from that committee. And present it to the commission, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, all right. Okay, that sounds good. All right, my next update is our HRC summer meeting schedule. I know that, normally we would have actually had our retreat in August. So, there's some discussion in regards, I know with the COVID situation and with the social distance, it looks like that's not going to happen this year. But we need to make some decisions as well, discuss in regards to our summer meeting schedule.
And Chair Leak, actually under the executive committee report, you were going to get more into the retreat discussion. For
Correct.
this, it was mainly just making sure that the commission was still okay with taking the summer hiatus as usual, meaning you don't meet in July and you may or may not meet in August, depending on the retreat occurs.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. I was trying to find that email. I was trying to find that email.
Yeah, I would recommend that the commission take a vote on meeting in July and August, whether or not you have the annual retreat.
Correct. So we're voting for July and August, correct?
You're voting for July and taking a hiatus, and then in August, potentially not meeting, just depending on whether or not there is a retreat.
Okay, got you. So is there a motion to, make sure I'm reading my notes right.
I'm happy to make that motion.
Mhm. Okay, so
Oh, Ruth is waving her hand. Hey, Ruth. I
So-
can't hear you.
we can't hear you.
Oh, so I move that we cancel our regular monthly meeting in July and August, and with the potential that we may have a retreat, virtual or otherwise, in August.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Haynes. That was motion by Commissioner Haynes. There a second?
I second.
Commissioner Price, second. All in favor, please say aye.
We probably have to go one by one.
Yes. You have to call on them one by one again.
That's right,
Charlie.
okay, that's right, I keep forgetting that. Commissioner Price,
Aye. Aye.
Commissioner Samara,
Aye.
Commissioner Haynes,
Aye.
Commissioner Thornton. Did you say aye? I didn't see it.
She's doing her thumb. We can't
Okay,
hear her. She's,
all right, Commissioner Bloomfield,
Aye.
Commissioner Price,
Aye.
all right. Thank you all. This is different, so just bear with the chairperson.
It is. No, you're doing great.
doing a good job, Robert.
All right, now the next thing is there's a discussion in regards to the Juneteenth holiday recommendation consideration. You know, in regards to what's going on in our world today, with the racial tension and different groups are now formalizing in regards to Black Lives Matter movement, human rights movement. Different movements are actually occurring, but at the same time, we can't forget about, you know, our history as well. So I was in discussion with Ms. Wander, asking her in regards to, could the Human Relations Commission also move in an effort with a recommendation to consider by Mayor Allen Jones to make Juneteenth a holiday for our city. And I just want some discussions in regards to how you guys feel about it, and then if you guys feel great about it, then we can actually move forward in writing a recommendation to the mayor's office. I don't know if you want to touch on that as well as in regards to how we want. I mean, if it does pleases the commission, how will we be able to move forward? Because this will actually be our like a first bill or something from the commission. So I mean, it'll be a huge milestone for us as a commission.
Correct. What I was going to suggest, Chair League, is that we follow the order of the agenda, and this was under your executive committee comments. And so can we jump to keep it in order? Can we go ahead and allow Commissioner Sarton to do community relations?
Okay.
And we'll revisit this under executive committee.
Okay, for some reason, I don't know why I thought it was, okay, all right, okay, that's cool,
That's okay.
Okay.
Commissioner Sarton, we see you. I know we can't hear you. So maybe we do need to have someone else to do the community relations report for you since we can't hear you. Okay. Jamie, are you in a position to be able to do that for her?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Just one moment.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to start with Trust Talks. In partnership with the Youth Advisory Council, we held a Youth Trust Talks on Friday, January 24th at Miller Park Recreation Center as a kickoff to the statewide youth conference. Youth around the state all enjoyed the experience. Collegiate Trust Talks was canceled due to COVID-19. And tomorrow evening, we will be holding a virtual town trust talks. It will be in the form of a town hall discussion starting at 5:30 p.m. You will be able to view it live on the city's YouTube channel and WSTV 13. Showcase of Song. The 2020 Showcase of Song was at Carver High School on February 8th, 2020. We had a good turnout with commissioners and a great program. It is posted on our website and the city's YouTube channel. And we'd also like to discuss community rallies and protests. In response, commissioners request to represent the HRC at various rallies and protests in the community. Staff ordered shirts for the HRC. A few commissioners have picked up their new HRC shirts and participated in marches, as well as the art mural project on Main Street in front of City Hall. If you have any pictures, please send them to us. We have received some great photos from Commissioner Samara. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Jamie, for the update. And also thank you all for the ones who were able to participate in the protest as well, representing the Human Relations Commission. And I did get ahead of myself, so I'm sorry about that. So now it is my turn now to speak in regards to the executive report. So in regards to, I'm not going to go back to the discussion about Juneteenth, but I do want to hear from you guys on how do you guys feel about making that a consideration from our commission.
I think that's a fantastic idea. This is Commissioner Price. Do we know what that would entail? Like when we recommend it as a holiday, what that would mean to the city? Would that mean like a city workers get the day off? Would it mean like a parade? Is there a concept for that, or is that kind of an already set concept, or is that something we would then recommend? I am not sure, so I just kind of want to get a feel for that. But I do love the idea. I think it's very appropriate right now. I'll stop talking.
Oh, no, I totally agree with that. And that was going to be my question. Is it more of a symbolic recognition, or are we recommending a paid holiday for city employees? And I suppose that's open to discussion, but I'm in favor of the idea as well. It's long been recognized as a holiday by Congress, recognized by the state of North Carolina. So I think it probably is time to recognize it, and just would have the same question about how.
So this is Jeff Bloomfield here. So one thing I think we could do is there are a lot of cities that are passing new ordinances. So we could look at those and take those as like a go-by of what we want to propose to our city council. So there's definitely like a template and everything to get it done. So my thoughts are it's a great idea. And I don't think it should be, I think it should be more than symbolic. Or at least we should push for it to be more than symbolic.
Yeah, I agree as well.
So would there be willing to take the lead on maybe looking at some templates from other jurisdictions?
Correct.
Is there a commissioner who'd be willing to work with staff on that?
I suggested it, so I should probably do it, huh?
Okay, sure. That sounds good, Commissioner Bloomfield.
Okay.
It looks like Commissioner Sarton might have been volunteering.
And I come up with staff as well.
Okay, so we have Chair Lee, Commissioner Bloomfield, and Commissioner Price. Was there another, or oh, Ruth is. Okay, so there's several of you, which is awesome. So we have Chair Leak, Commissioner Sarton, Commissioner Haynes, Commissioner Price, and Commissioner Bloomfield. So you all will be the ones who will be kept in the loop on the Juneteenth research, and Commissioner Bloomfield is going to take the lead on trying to find some other templates for consideration.
Correct.
Okay, so probably need a vote. Hate to do this to you all, because I know it's so different. You just can't say aye and be done. But we probably do need to take a vote on that, Chair Lee.
Okay, taking a vote on in regards to
Approving the ad hoc committee and approving or giving Commissioner Bloomfield the go-ahead to move forward with the research. And then I don't know if you all wanted to add to that the whole thing about how to do it in terms of, should it be a holiday, paid holiday for city employees, or do you want to wait until you see what the templates look like? What would be the preference?
I would think at this point, if we are going to do some extra investigation, that we hold off on kind of giving extra details until we have a chance to see it. I would hate to kind of start going down one path and then realize that for whatever reason we liked a different path better.
That makes sense to me too. But I don't know how the rest of the commission feels about that.
I agree with Josh. I think that's a good route to go.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Is anyone else getting a really bad echo?
Yeah.
No one
Oh,
else?
yeah.
Yes.
it's
but
real.
it was-
Yeah, like feedback and an echo.
It's because
Oh, wow. Do you have us on,
It's definitely coming from
on
Ruth.
your,
Yeah, it's gonna
do you have us on two different things, Ruth?
Yeah, we have Ruth on here twice.
Yeah, she's showing up on here twice, so I think, is she on a phone? No? No. Oh, that's weird, because I do see her twice as well.
Ruth? Yeah, because the second one, it looks like the mute is on though.
I think as long as she stays on mute for most of the time and then comes off just to vote or to say
Yeah,
something, it'll be fine.
It's an echo. Yeah.
Ruth, can you try it now to see if the mute comes off both?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we still have that little echo. Okay. But we can hear you though, yes. It's okay.
Okay, I agree with Commissioner Price as well. I think we should look at the template first, and then we'll be able to report back to the commission what we was able to observe and research and try to move forward. I mean, then we'll be able to, then that will give us the necessary steps how to move forward with the actually observing that as a holiday.
Okay, so did we have the motion and vote?
Correct. So is there a motion to create an ad hoc committee to create a Juneteenth celebration holiday for our city, as well given Commissioner Bloomfield the ability to research templates for the Juneteenth holidays that has been voted on across other states in our country? Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
All right, motion by Commissioner Haynes. Second.
Seconded.
Second. Oh, second.
Second by Commissioner Price. Okay, so we're gonna do another roll call. Commissioner Haynes.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Bloomfield.
Aye.
Commissioner Price.
Aye.
Commissioner Sarton, just raise your hand. Okay. All right. Thank you. It's passed. All right. Our next committee report updates will come from Commissioner Haynes in regards to our hearing board.
And it'll be very short because I have no update at this point.
Okay, and Chair Leak, actually, Commissioner Haynes, I wanted to tack something on just so you will have a report, but it does pertain somewhat.
Yeah,
What I say is that we did get the results back from legal aid for our fair housing testing. We did get the results back, and it looks as though we have approximately 40%, 40% likelihood of race discrimination that was indicated from the 37 tests that were done. So that is significant. And they also tested for national origin, disability, and criminal history. Criminal history was very low, and national origin was about where it was last time. It was right around 25 to 30%, and disability was about the same as last time too. But the race discrimination part was the most significant. And I have asked legal aid to provide us with a summary report that'll be kind of in narrative format, very basically explaining what the results indicate and what they do not indicate. But that was, if you recall, that was something that the commission voted on some time ago to do another round of testing.
correct. I remember.
It's now complete, and the goal was to get the new round complete during this fiscal year. So they did, despite all the things with the pandemic, and they were able to do that. But you will be provided with more information as time goes on. I may send it to you via email. I don't know that it would necessarily need to be in this type of setting with a formal meeting, but I do want to keep you all apprised because legal aid does plan to also update the city council in the coming, I don't know, weeks or months, like they usually do. So were there any questions about that? So that's what I wanted to tack on to the hearing board report, Commissioner Haynes. Does any questions? As I can't probably answer a lot of them right now because this is just a preliminary report, but I could do my best to try to answer what you may have.
Wanda, can you remind me again the time frame within which they were doing the testing? I just can't recall.
Okay, they were doing the time frame during this fiscal year. They were supposed to start like around winter and conclude in the spring. So they didn't give exact dates. We could request that information, but we don't have exact dates right now. Let me double check myself, Commissioner Haynes, before I say that so definitively. I just pulled up the report. Yeah, from what I'm looking at, the preliminary report, they did do testing in December. So like I said, in the winter. And I think that's when they did the majority of them from what I can see. A lot of them were done around that time. They were supposed to be able to do some in the spring as well. But the majority were done around December before the holiday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And just as a point of clarity, like I said, there were 37 tests done, and they saw differences in treatment for the 15 race tests, for instance. They said that they saw 8 differences in treatment. And then for national origin, they saw 3 out of 10 differences in treatment, which differences in treatment indicates that there could be discrimination. Criminal background, they saw 1 out of 8 difference in treatment, and that meaning that this was against the person who was representing the test category. Disability, they had 2 out of 4 differences in treatment that likely indicate discrimination. And again, the differences in treatment total were 15. And then they also added on criminal history, which wasn't in that 37. So when you add that together, that's 45. So 15 out of 45 total, but that's for all the categories aggregated. But again, we'll get a better report, this very straightforward in the coming, hopefully, days from the legal aid. And when I get it, I'll share it with you. And then,
Thank you, Ms. Wanda, and Commissioner Hayes. Is there any other questions or concerns in regards to the hearing board report? All right, if not, we'll move forward to our multicultural relations by Commissioner Samara.
Can you hear me? Yes? Good. So, building integrated communities, due to the COVID-19, the big pipeline sessions are on hold.
Sita, I can't hear you. I don't know if everyone else can.
A little bit more.
Can you hear me now?
Can you turn up the volume just a little bit?
We can hear you. You're just very, very quiet.
Can you hear me now?
That's
Okay,
better.
that's a lot better.
Okay. Building integrated communities due to the COVID-19, the big pipeline sessions.
Excuse me, Sita. I'm sorry. I just got a note from marketing. They want you to get closer to the microphone.
Okay.
Because you're recording, so they want you to get close to the mic.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear?
Marketing, is that better? Okay, they said better.
Okay. Okay. So building integrated communities due to COVID-19, the big pipeline sessions are on hold. So we'll update once we are able to resume them. And International Village, the same with the COVID reason, we will be canceling this year's International Village Festival. Juneteenth, the virtual Juneteenth celebration was held on Saturday, June 20th. Human Relations was one of the annual sponsors as usual, once again, this year. And I think that's it from the multicultural relations. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Samara, and thank everyone as well for being patient with the staff as well, each one that who represents a committee in regards to as we're going with the virtual events, especially with the Juneteenth virtual event. And it was a great event. So thank everyone who actually view it as well, liked it, but as well support all of our virtual events during this COVID-19. So our New Horizons Fair Housing report. Report. Fair housing landlord tenant training. Trainings are held by staff on the second Wednesdays of each month at 10 a.m. in the committee room at City Hall. But of course, we know that's on hold due to the COVID-19. The Fair and Affordable Housing Summit, which is one of our signature summit events as well. Of course, that was put on hold in regards to the COVID-19, and that was very unfortunate because we had a lot of individuals who were eager to learn more about the fair and affordable housing rights as well, participate as well. But anyway, that event has been canceled. And that is my report for the Fair Housing Committee. At this time, the Student Relations Committee, Jamie, can you read that report for us?
Yes, just one moment. So our only report is on the 40th Student Relations Awards Banquet. Unfortunately, we did have to cancel that, but we did a virtual ceremony this year. If you have not been able to watch the virtual event, please check it out on the website. We do have it on the homepage, on the Human Relations homepage within the city of ws.org. We are so grateful for all of the speakers who sent their videos and/or audio recordings. Marketing did a wonderful job coordinating all of them. Awards have been sent to the schools, and we continue to process refunds per request.
Thank you, Jimmy, for that. And again, thank you all who also tuned in to watch the Student Awards Banquet. I received a host of feedback from the community. And honestly, it was like as if we was actually, well, as if I they're sitting in the audience watching the event. So it was a great virtual event, and thank you all who participate to make that event happen. At this time, we have our director's update from Ms. Wanda Allen Amberlaw.
Okay, thank you, Chair Leak. I appreciate that. I just wanted to reiterate what's already been said and thank the commissioners. We haven't had a chance to really thank you recently for all that you've been doing to stay engaged. This has been a very challenging time for all of us. And so we definitely are glad to have this meeting tonight. And also thanks to Chair Leak and to Commissioner Haynes for being so accessible for tomorrow night's Town Trust Talks. That's going to be a very big deal. And so we're hoping that every commissioner can join us for that, that forum. You will be able to watch it live through live streaming on YouTube and on the city's website. I'm not sure if it's going to be live streamed on Facebook. There's been some discussion and I don't know what the final decision was about that. But anyway, you'll be able to watch. And what'll happen is the panel will be on WebEx, but the general public will not be. The general public will only be able to see it through the live streaming that I just mentioned. And in terms of the questions, this is what I wanted to speak with you all about. I think that most of you saw the questions that I forwarded to the commission that we've already received in advance. And I just wanted you to know that in reviewing the questions aren't really relevant to our subject matter, unfortunately, because we're focused primarily on the racial unrest and the social injustice piece. Now, you will see that there were questions about, well, what about something about schools and healthcare and things of that nature. And as you all know, as a city advisory board, the schools and the health related medical issues do not fall within the scope of city government. Those are county functions. And so that's not exactly something that we can get involved in to that extent. I think there was also a question about mentoring and the elderly and that type of thing. Again, those are more county functions when you're talking perhaps about social services. And Iris, would you happen to know off the top of your head as to whether or not that would be something that would fall under social services? I know that's your old stomping grounds, but I know that, like I said, there was mention of working with the elderly and mentoring and that type of thing.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
Okay. And also, I don't remember if there were other issues. Salwa, do you recall the other? And by the way, for you all who've not met Salwa Majid is our graduate intern from UNCG. She's working on her master's degree there. And I think most of you know Salwa, you've met her, but Salwa is responsible for helping me to sort through those questions. And she sent me. Salwa, am I missing any other questions that were posed that you can think of that I didn't mention?
No, ma'am, I think you covered most of them. A lot of them did relate to services that would probably be more in the county jurisdiction. The most recent one that we received was particularly on, there was two specifically that did relate to the African-American community, but it was more so, it was very vague. I mean, it wasn't really a question that you could present without having just a lengthy conversation. I'm hoping we'll receive more that are more concise so that we can answer them just as coherently as we can. But I think you covered them. Yeah.
Are you referring to the question about whether the African-American community needs a leader, that email thread? Frankly, I didn't understand those questions. So.
Exactly.
Right.
I agree. Because.
And I second that as well, Commissioner Hayes.
It seemed more of a rhetorical type of thing. Like, I don't know how the panel would address that. So if we are in agreement on all that, because we got the questions from the Department of Justice, and the Department of Justice questions really, I think, were more of a heads up, because let me just give you some background on that. The state DOJ is interested in studying trust talks a little closer than what they have. And I think they're looking at models that they could potentially use to share across North Carolina, which is awesome. And so those questions that I shared with you from former Commissioner Peoples-Joyner were related to a meeting that took place today that involved police staff and the DOJ staff. And they also pulled in a few people from the community who have participated in our past trust talks. Now, to my knowledge, no commissioners or staff were invited to participate, but I was happy that former Commissioner Peoples-Joyner gave us the heads up about the questions that were being asked. And so I wanted to share those with you all. And I do plan to follow back up with her to see how the meeting went. But anyway, those were more questions for their knowledge, I think, to understand trust talks and the value that it brings to the community. So that wasn't exactly pertaining to the town trust talks for tomorrow, that thread from her, but the other ones were. They were supposed to be for tomorrow. So as it stands, in my opinion, we don't have any questions yet from the public that we would pass on. But I did want the commission to help me to vet these questions. So going back to my original point, if everyone will be on the call tomorrow, what I would like to do is to be able to forward those questions that we received during the town trust talks to the commission for you all to help in assessing those questions and vetting those questions. And I wanted to just get your feedback on that thought.
Have y'all received the questions yet from the Coalition for Neighborhood Association Presidents?
Sawa, Jamie, have you all seen any questions from the Neighborhood Association presidents?
Yeah, I've got it right here. I'll forward it to you.
Oh, great. Thank you. Chair Leak, I had not seen those, so we do have them though, which is great.
All right, thank you.
And I'll move on while Saul was doing that with my comments. Also, we had Adolfo, who actually was representing the department with meetings with the county. Such meeting was pertaining to Hispanic outreach, and another meeting that he's attended pertained to the Forsyth Justice Center. So what I'd like to do is ask Adolfo to brief you all on both of those meetings. Adolfo, do you mind?
No, boss, I don't. In general, what happened in the, I want to start with the county, the Forsyth County Health Department. They are concerned about the high incidence of Hispanics with COVID-19. I believe last week it was in 65%. So imagine all of the COVID-19 cases in Forsyth County. 65% are from Hispanics that have become infected somehow. And they are planning on doing some type of campaign. Again, this will not be the first one, it will be the second or third, to try to do something different, to try to lower that number. It is not clear why Hispanics have a big incidence of cases. What it is clear is that whatever it is that they're doing, they're not following the basics. The health authorities in the county believe that if they were doing the basics, which is cover your mouth, constantly wash your hands, and keep the social distancing, those numbers will be much lower. So that's one. And the other one is about the Forsyth County Justice Center. I think it will be, the Forsyth County Justice Center will be a something like a center for battered females, for females and children that have suffered domestic violence. And I think the county finalized this, the Forsyth County, they are going to be at the Department of Forsyth County sometime soon. I think it's going to start the 1st of July. They will be housed in a county building. and they are going to. It has a name. I think it's called Bridges of Hope. So Forsyth County Justice Center was the generic name that they were going to be using initially, but now it has a name, and officially I think it's going to be called Bridges of Hope, or no, hold on, Bridges to Hope, I believe, Bridges to Hope. So that's one of the things they're going to, and that they have funding to operate the center, I believe, but they still working it out. The last meeting I had, they didn't have money to buy furniture yet. So, but they're working on that fix, and it's going to start operating. It will need they will need volunteers. They will need staff. Some partner organizations will have staff on site. We are going to be one of those partners that are off site, and they will refer things to us whenever it is that there is a fair housing complaint that comes from them. So I think that's my report, boss.
Thank you, Adolfo. And would you also tie that in with what you've done with Two Comunidad, with Dr. Rodriguez and the focus?
Sure. Dr. Reina Rodriguez is the person that is in Forsyth County leading this effort. With the Hispanic community to try to bring down the number of cases. So I interviewed her for Two Comunidad, and we did recently that I think in the first days of June, and that interview should be for Two Comunidad should be in both English and Spanish, and it should be in the city's YouTube channel, in case you want to take a look at it.
Off this Commissioner Lee. I do know in regards to the Hispanics cases of the COVID-19, I did read as well. I saw in the news in regards to some of the, we have a large population of Hispanics who actually works at Tyson's chicken plant in Wilkesboro. So I wonder, are some of those cases that we are noticing that are increasing in Forsyth County, I wonder, are those connected with the Tyson's plant in Wilkesboro? And the second thing is, I have observed in the community that Hispanics, they do live largely together as families. So I think that may be some of the spreading as well of the COVID-19. So I don't know if you have heard anything about the Tyson's plant. I do know I have a cousin that works out there, and he has stated to me, he alluded to the fact that at first Tyson was not following the guidelines, orders from the CDC in regards to, the precautions to be safe. But then too, there was some Hispanics there in the plant who really still didn't understand the precaution and the level of the pandemic itself. So I was thinking that those increases of the cases of Hispanics may be in lieu of the line of the work that's taking place in Wilkesboro. I don't know if you have been aware of that.
Thank you, Commissioner Leak. I am more like an observant in these meetings. I will try to do the very best I can. I am part of that community to spread the infection. So that's a question more for the people that are directly working on this. I believe I have not heard about that Tyson plant issue. It may be one of the things that is contributing to this very high rate of infection amongst the Hispanic community here in Forsyth County. What I have heard is two things: the many people that live sometime together in the same home. I have heard that is a concern, but it can be difficult to help them. I mean, because probably they are there because they don't have another choice. It is not like they can choose to leave, by themselves or with their families, and 2 or 3, or in a house or in an apartment, and they choose not to do it. I mean, it is a structural issue. Some of the participants in these meetings are a little bit like these ones, you know, on Zoom or on another platform, and it's 25 and 30 people in those meetings, and all are throwing ideas as to what we can do. Some of the ideas that have been floated around is, well, we have to help them, you know, move out. Those who want to move out and are willing to move out but cannot do it because of money, we probably need to assist them somehow. We have to find some. These are just general ideas that people are having and just throwing it out there. So that's one idea, to give them money either to move out, or if they get sick, that they don't feel like they have to work, you know, even though they're sick, and pay them, you know, the rent for a month or 2 months, you know, depending. Because if it's a family, once one gets it, probably all of them will get it, and it's probably we will be paying rent for 1 or 2 months and pay them food. Some of those ideas are around there to try to avoid that they are huddled up in the same home. Another idea is that even if they are there living with a lot of people and one of them is infected, they should you know, have follow the same procedures. All of them should be wearing their masks. The person should be isolated in one room. If that room has its own bathroom, even better. Those things are also trying to get across in a campaign, in a message to them. And there was a third thing. Oh, yeah. And the other thing that is been floating around is that apparently there is some big resistance from some Hispanic pastors to believe in COVID-19, that is a real thing. And apparently some Hispanic pastors are opening up their churches like there was nothing, and saying that you will not get COVID-19 if you are faithful, if you are, you know, if you do your duty as a Christian or something like that. And that is also a concern from the health authorities. So they will try to do a campaign to try to reach those pastors as well. Those are the things that I'm hearing in these meetings that we have had in the past, Commissioner Leak.
Thank you. Ms. Wanda, did you do your Hub updates yet? I'm sorry.
Yes, that's Adolfo was actually a part of my updates. I wanted him to be the one to share those updates with you because he was the one who actually attended those meetings. And so I thought that it would be good for him to share that directly with you all, as opposed to me trying to paraphrase for him. Did anyone have any questions of Adolfo?
Thank you for those updates. It's very insightful. Yeah, I don't have any questions off the top of my head, but it's good information to know.
Thank you. I was not aware that the numbers were that high. I had heard that I think across the state there were some concerns about the numbers, but I didn't know they were that high here. So thank you. That was very insightful.
Thank you, commissioners. And of course, for our part, what worries us following this is that and some participants in these meetings have already mentioned it, is that they are afraid that COVID-19 and Hispanic will become synonymous, and that is a concern for us. So that's what we're trying to avoid, if we can.
All right, thank you, Ms. Wanda, for that.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that Adolfo had addressed any questions that the commission may have. Also, I wanted to mention to you an update that is from the city attorney's office. And I didn't know if you all could, some of you were on the commission a few years ago when the commission suggested to the city council that sexual orientation be added to the fair housing ordinance. I know, okay, yeah, some of you recall that. And so I just wanted you to know that the city attorney's office has actually revisited that. And what she has shared is that the city has gone ahead and approved that sexual orientation is definitely now a part of the protected classes for city services activities, and facilities for all. So sexual orientation has been added to that. Gender identity or expression has also been added. So the city council approved that since we've been out during the pandemic. So I wanted to share that with you all.
Wonderful.
And as a part of that too, they also included bullying of the youth. That was not something that was protected or spelled out that way anyway. And so that now the code amendment did set forth a provision that protects youth who are associated with city programs and activities and so on from being protected for bullying. So those were huge, huge, huge things that have happened since we've been out. So just FYI to you all. And also we shared this information with the Human Rights Campaign. And the Human Rights Campaign, they actually do an assessment of cities throughout the United States each year to determine how well local government is doing with relating to the LGBTQIA+ community. And so we definitely wanted them to be aware of the fact that we've made these changes to the code. And so we're hoping that that will help us in terms of our scorecard with the Human Rights Campaign. They have something called the Municipal Equality Index. And so each year I work with our city attorney, our mayor, and our city manager on making sure that we are doing all that we can to get our score as high as we can, which means that we are making sure that it's known that we do not have any bias when it comes to providing city services and access to city services, programs, and facilities based on LGBTQIA protected traits. So just wanted to give you that update real quick before I forgot. So any questions about that? Okay, and lastly, under director's comments, actually, I wanted to defer to Jamie. Jamie has been keeping up with the Mayor's Council on Persons with Disabilities, which is one of your sister advisory boards, and their progress on planning the ADA's anniversary celebration this summer. So Jamie, can you take it from here?
Sure. So this year is the 30-year anniversary. So the Mayor's Council is trying to put together events and educational opportunities starting Monday, July 27th. A few months back, the first time I met with them, they had a lot of great opportunities that were going to be all over the city at different locations. Unfortunately, that has changed now. And so they're still just trying to figure out what all they can do. So the kickoff, which they were calling the birthday party, was going to be on Monday, July 27th. And that was going to be something that we were sponsoring along with the attorney's office. That they're not going to be able to do it the same as they had planned, but they are still trying to figure out something that day where Mayor Joines could read a proclamation. They are thinking, they were talking about maybe doing like a parade or something, like we've seen the past few months, during the pandemic. I just found out before the meeting, though, that they did get approved to partner with the Fairgrounds Drive-In movie series. They already were showing the Peanut Butter Falcon that week. So on Tuesday, July 28th, they will have that as the ADA night. And I believe they're going to be showing a short clip of the signing of the ADA before the movie. So they'll be able to use that as an educational opportunity. That's all I have right now. But they're still trying to do as much as they can with all the restrictions.
Thank you, Jamie. Did anyone have any questions of Jamie?
How you get on the highway? Is this where I'm supposed to go?
You know where you live?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get back on the highway.
I think that might have been Commissioner Wiggins. Okay, so we're just going to move on because I know she said she's driving and she was going to try to join the meeting, but I don't know. Okay, thank you, Jamie. And that's all I had for, oh no, I had a HUD update. One good HUD update is that since we've been out, we've received a $10,000 grant from HUD for outreach. So we applied for it, we got it, I know, right? So that's the good news that I wanted to share, that we did receive that grant during the pandemic time. So we will be putting it to good use.
Fantastic.
Yes, indeed. And we also have gotten a new HUD monitor during this time as well. Not sure if they're going to try to do an audit this summer or not with everything that's going on, but we no longer have Jennifer Jones as our monitor. We now have Iris, what's her name? Iris had her name down pat, or Adolfo, one of y'all. But anyway, I know her first name is Anne Marie. But anyway, say it again.
Anne Marie Dolce.
Thank you, Iris. Thank you. And so we'll be working with Ms. Dolce from this point forward with any new cases or any new initiatives. And that's all I've got.
Wanda, we appreciate that as always with your monthly reports. At this time, we'll hear from Adolfo for his January through May 2020 statistics. And it's also including your package as well, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner Leak. I'm not going to, recite all of them, but you will see that up until May, we have had a total number of calls of 572. Remember, commissioners, that our fiscal year ends June the 31st, so we only have one more month to go. This means that we are going to be over 600 calls that we receive, and that is normal. But I think we're not going to be over 650. And remember that last year, I think we were over 700. So, but this year with the pandemic, we have had very, very low numbers in the past few months. If we have a month that's less than 50 calls, I call it a low number. For instance, in February, we received 41 calls in total. In March, but that was a good number, 58. And then in April, 58 as well. But that was a low number, I think, in February and in January, we had low numbers. And I think that's how this case will be impacted. Now, also, you will see that we have 10 cases, HD cases so far. We could have had 12, but 2 were referred back to HUD because they were these complaints originated from a complex that receives money from the city of Winston-Salem. So we referred those two back to HUD, and we haven't had another housing discrimination complaint since March. So we haven't had one in April, and we haven't had one in May. So I think that's a little bit because of this pandemic. I believe that people are more worried about much more immediate stuff like employment and potentially being evicted because they don't have money to pay for the rent or their mortgage. And I believe that is what's behind this decline in our numbers compared to last year.
Thank you, Adolfo. Are there any concerns or questions from the commission in regards to Adolfo report? Okay, well, we're at the end. The business of the hour. Please, guys, as Ms. Wanda just stated earlier in regards to our town hall, please try your best to tune into our town hall sponsored by the Human Relations Commission. As we discussed in regards to social injustice as well, looking through it through a local lens. So as well racial unrest as well. So please make sure to tune into that was Commissioner Haynes, as well myself and other panelists who will actually be on the panel as well. So please make time to do that. I know it's a Friday night, but it's at 5:30, so you know that's a good time to actually tune in to support the commission as well. I also want to say before we close, I don't know if you guys took a look at it, but the community relations committee document, the multicultural relations committee document, as with the newsletter, staff did a fantastic job. Those colors really popped out.
Go Jamie, go Jamie.
Yes, the pictures and everything, it was updated. So thank you
Can
guys for
anybody
providing
hear me yet?
update.
In Salwa. Go Salwa.
Thank y'all.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much. Yes.
Ruth, we heard you. Can you unmute? We heard you without feedback. Can you unmute again?
They can't hear me.
Oh, Carrie.
Oh, you hear me?
Hi, Carrie.
Hello,
Yes, we do.
everyone. I'm sorry. I am driving, but I managed to connect. I'm sorry. My apologies for being late.
It's all right. We're about to get ready to wrap up anyways. Do you have anything you'd like to say, Commissioner Wiggins, Vice Chair? Sorry,
Yeah,
Vice Chair
I
Wiggins.
do want to thank you, Commissioner Leak. I did want to speak, and I caught just part of Adolfo's report. But Adolfo, I think that you are right. I have worked with a few Hispanic families, and they are accustomed to, taking care of themselves and getting paid and paying their bills. But COVID has really made an impact in some of these families that have been self-sufficient and that are looking at, facing possible eviction. And there are so many barriers already there. And then with the coronavirus, it has just kind of amplified those disparities for those families. And just continue to be on the ground and support and provide resources and access for those families are going to be, what I'm trying to do as well as others and supporting. And so, and the biases are there, and they're feeling it, and it's just, it's part of our new normal. It doesn't make it okay, but for those families to be impacted in such a way, and with minimal assistance for some of these families.
Hey,
it's their new reality.
Can you hear me, Wanda?
Ruth, we hear you. You sound great.
All right. I want to celebrate that Jeff is having a new baby and Commissioner Leak celebrates a 1-year wedding anniversary. Let's be happy.
Yay, congratulations to both of you all.
Awesome.
Thank you. And
phenomenal.
I'm all about, I've been in my house since March 13th, so.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you. And one thing I wanted to say, Chair Lee, because we do have general business before adjourning. And one thing I wanted to mention is that we did order shirts. And I think somebody may have said it earlier, I don't know, but there are shirts.
They're great.
And that was at the prompting, and I have to thank her, Commissioner Sarton, for prompting that, because Commissioner Sarton was ready to get out there in the streets and do her thing during
we did
marches. Yes, and so
I gave Mayor Joins one, and he liked it. So
yes, that was her idea as well. So I think it was awesome. So the shirts, you like your shirt, right?
Love it.
Okay. And I think Commissioner Samara got one too, correct? Okay. Did anybody else get a shirt?
There's still a bunch there. When I took the banner back the other day, the box was full. So there are a lot.
Yes, and the box is right there.
I need to get one.
Okay, please do. They're right there.
Get one too.
They're good shirts. They're Gildan. They're fabulous.
Okay, good. And they're right there in Carlin's area, the front area of our office. And so if you let the guard know that you're there to pick up a shirt, He's already been put on notice about that, right, Jamie? So if you go and let him know what you're trying to do, he'll either escort you back there or send you back there to get your shirt. We have all kinds of sizes. Pick it up and you're good to go.
I think he's
All
glad
right,
to
thank
see
you.
people.
Now, what time can we go tomorrow? Can we go tomorrow and get one?
Yeah, you can go anytime because the shirts are already
Anytime.
here.
Okay.
Anytime between 8 and 5. Anytime.
Okay.
And also, I wanted to take an opportunity to thank the marketing and communications department. I have especially been running them crazy, given that virtual banquet for us, and they're doing the town trust talks, doing this meeting. They're going to be doing the youth council meeting on Monday, and they're going to do the AAHI meeting on Tuesday. So we have been marketing like every day, and they've been absolute troopers. And Joey, Larry, Frank, Ed, Katie, all of you, thank you so much for your support with the virtual meetings and all the things that we've had to do somewhat impromptu. Y'all are such professionals, and we really appreciate you.
I just miss seeing everybody.
I agree. It's kind of weird working off site, but I do want you to know that the staff has come through like you would not believe. I mean, we haven't missed a beat because of the A team we've got. They are outstanding.
Yeah, Carlin's a runner. Carlin, knows how to run.
They are all excellent. I mean, they do such a good job. Everything that we've had to do, whether it's newsletters or reports or working with Wake Forest, y'all know we had the eviction diversion program to come into fruition during this time. It is going very well. We are working with the court, and we're working with the Wake Forest law students. We have at least one attorney who has volunteered to do mediation for us for the evictions and whatnot. So we're doing really well with that too. So that's all since we've been out. And so we have not really missed a beat. And it's just a real tribute to our team that we have. So thank you all.
It's a really rock solid team. I think marketing did a wonderful job with the virtual student relations banquet. It just popped. It was very well done. They did a great job. So thank you guys so much for that.
Yes, I agree with you on that. I agree. They did a good job. But just be on the lookout. If you all hear in the community about any cases that are landlord-tenant cases and tenants or landlords having issues with one another because of COVID-19, whether it's through job loss or whatever, please send them our way. We are still waiting to get referrals from the court, but they're setting it up right now. But we have already been in touch with Justice Beasley's team. They've reached out to what we were doing here in Forsyth County. I do believe we're the first in the state to have something set up. And the partnership that we have is a first too, between human relations and the law school and legal aid to make this work. So please send those cases our way if you hear about anything out in the community, especially you, Chair Leak, because I know with talking to a lot of the neighborhood association presidents, you may hear about those types of issues, but any of you may. So please make sure you send them our way.
Thank you. Is there any other updates or announcements before we adjourn?
My staff, am I forgetting anything? Anything that we have been working on or we may need to bring to the commission's attention? Oh, what a cutie, Jeff. Oh my gosh. What a cutie.
Oh yeah, I see him now.
Hi.
I see Josh too. Look at Josh.
Oh my gosh. Look at all these cuties.
Oh my God.
Really?
Can you say hi to everyone?
Hi, Jameson. Kids into this. Yes, that's it's so.
You just mean guys.
No, they're not mean guys.
That was funny. Yeah, the cute kids. That's always something to lift your spirits.
Funny that they picked the exact same time.
I know. They sure did. They sure did.
Oh, so y'all just doing show and tell now. Look at Commissioner Samara.
Oh my gosh. Oh, her fur baby. How cute. Oh my God. I can ooh and ah over her from a distance, Sita, because I'm allergic, but from here it's okay. So cute. Well, commissioners, thank you. And we'll continue to keep you up to date on everything, and let us know if you need us as well. And we'll look into the virtual annual retreat thing in August. Not real sure if that would work, but we'll see about that. And we are waiting to announce canceling International Village. We're not going to announce it publicly just yet, even though we're on a public domain right now. But we will probably do an official announcement in the coming weeks, okay?
Okay.
We're going to continue to play it by ear.
All right.
Face masks, now it's mandatory, but just make sure you take all the precautions you need to. And when you come in City Hall as well, we have stations around City Hall now where you can use hand sanitizer and things like that. So when you come into the building, when you get your shirts, you should be fine. But just make sure you take your precautions, please.
Yes. I echo the same sentiments as well, Wanda, as well. Everyone, please be safe and use wisdom in all of this. And I pray to see each and every one of you soon at our next, whenever our meeting is, that we'll be able to come together. But it was great that we were able to come together and convene on this call virtual as well. But please do support our town hall on tomorrow, as well as other events with HRC as well. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I have a quick question. What is the time? What is the time to start on that thing tomorrow?
5:30.
5:30. Okay. Thank you.
And it should last for approximately an hour and 15 minutes. The last 15 minutes will be for public questions that we're going to vet.
Correct.
Re-motion to adjourn.
Okay, there's a second.
A second.
Okay, here we go again. Commissioner
Roll call vote.
Samara,
Aye.
Commissioner Haynes,
Aye.
Commissioner Sarton, Commissioner Price,
Aye.
Commissioner Bloomfield.
Aye.
All right, motion has passed. Everyone, please be safe, and please go see the peanut butter movie as well.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Take care.